Let's get started. Start with listening, and then learn new words and practice them in sentences.
Have you ever felt nervous while checking in at an airport because you were not confident with your English? It's a situation many of us have been in, isn't it? The hustle and bustle of the airport, the long queues, and the pressure of communicating effectively in a language that may not be your mother tongue. Having a solid grasp of English, particularly in travel situations, can be a real game changer. It can turn your journey from a stress-inducing ordeal into a smooth, enjoyable experience. And let's be honest, who wouldn't prefer the latter? In this video, we're going to delve into the English language as it's used in airport check-in procedures. We'll be exploring essential vocabulary, practicing typical questions and responses, and tackling problem-solving scenarios. Our aim? To equip you with the language skills you need to navigate English-speaking airports with ease and confidence. Worry not. Today, we will guide you through mastering English for airport check-in procedures. First off, understanding the language used at airports is key. Let's dive into some essential airport vocabulary that will help make your check-in process smooth and hassle-free. Starting with the first term, boarding pass. This is a document that grants you access to the airplane. You typically receive it once you've checked in, either online or at the airport. For instance, you might hear, "Please have your boarding pass and identification ready." Next up is carry-on. This is the bag or suitcase that you're allowed to bring with you on the plane. It needs to fit either under the seat in front of you or in the overhead compartment. For example, make sure your carry-on fits the airline size requirements. Moving on to overweight baggage. This refers to luggage that exceeds the airline's weight limit. If your suitcase is overweight, you may have to pay extra fees. You could hear something like, "Your baggage is overweight, there will be an additional charge." The check-in counter is the place where you go to check your bags, get your boarding pass, and answer basic security questions. You might hear, "Proceed to the check-in counter to drop off your luggage." Your flight number is the unique number assigned to your specific flight. It's usually a combination of letters and numbers. For instance, flight number BA 287 is now boarding at gate 10. Departure time is the time when your plane is scheduled to leave. Keep in mind, this is the time when the plane leaves the gate, not when you should arrive at the airport. For example, the departure time for flight BA 287 is 7 o'clock in the evening. With these terms, you're now equipped to understand and participate in basic airport conversations. These words and phrases are the building blocks for navigating English-speaking airports. And remember, practice makes perfect, so keep using these terms until they become second nature. Let's continue our journey into mastering English for airport check-ins. Now that you know the essential vocabulary, let's move on to common questions and responses at the airport. Imagine you're at the check-in counter. The first question you're likely to hear is, "Can I see your passport and ticket, please?" A simple response would be, "Sure, here they are." Always remember to keep these important documents handy. Next, you might be asked, "Do you have any bags to check?" If you do, you could say, "Yes, I have 2 bags to check in." If you only have carry-on luggage, you might respond with, "No, I only have this carry-on." You may also be asked, "Did you pack your bags yourself?" It's important to answer this truthfully. A typical response could be, "Yes, I packed them myself." Another common question is, "Are you aware of the contents of your baggage?" To this, you can confidently say, "Yes, I'm aware of everything in my baggage." The airline staff might also ask about your seating preference. They could ask, "Would you prefer a window or aisle seat?" Depending on your preference, you could answer, "A window seat, please," or "I'd prefer an aisle seat." If you're traveling internationally, you may be asked, "Do you have a visa for your destination?" A simple, "Yes, I do," will suffice if you have the necessary documentation. Lastly, they may inquire, "Would you like an exit row seat?" Remember, these seats come with extra responsibilities in case of an emergency. If you're comfortable with that, you can say, "Yes, I'd like an exit row seat." If not, you can respond, "No, thank you." You may not be asked all these questions every time, but it's good to be prepared. And remember, always respond politely and clearly. Good manners and clarity can go a long way in making your travel experience smoother and more enjoyable. Knowing how to respond to these questions can make your airport experience much smoother. Sometimes, things don't go as planned. It's important to know how to handle unexpected situations. And in the world of travel, this truth is no more evident than at the airport. So let's delve into some problem-solving scenarios. Imagine you've arrived at the airport only to find out your flight has been delayed. How do you address this in English? You could say, "Excuse me, could you please tell me more about the delay?" Or, "What alternatives do I have due to this delay?" These questions are polite, yet they show you're proactive about seeking solutions. Now, let's consider seating problems. Perhaps you've been allocated a seat that doesn't meet your needs. In this case, you might say, "I'm sorry, but I requested an aisle seat. Could you check if there's one available?" It's crucial to remember to maintain politeness while asserting your needs. Lastly, misunderstandings about baggage policies can often lead to stressful situations. It's essential to clarify these misunderstandings to avoid any additional charges or inconvenience. You could say, "Could you please explain the carry-on policy to me?" Or, "I'm afraid there might be a mistake. My baggage is within the permitted limit." By addressing the issue directly and politely, you can efficiently resolve any misunderstandings. In all these scenarios, the key is to stay calm, be polite, and clearly communicate your concerns. Using phrases like, "Could you please," "I'm sorry but," or "I'm afraid," can convey respect and politeness even when you're dealing with challenging situations. Remember, English is a language of nuances, and the right phrase can make a significant difference in how your message is received. By practicing these phrases and responses, you can confidently navigate any unexpected situations at the airport. Being prepared for these scenarios will help you navigate any hiccups during your travel. So keep practicing these phrases, and soon you'll be breezing through check-ins and boarding like a seasoned traveler, ready to take on any travel challenge that comes your way. You've made it this far, and you're now more prepared to tackle English-speaking airports with confidence. Let's quickly revisit what we've covered today. We started with the essential vocabulary, terms such as boarding pass, carry-on, and overweight baggage that will prove vital when interacting in an airport environment. Then, we moved on to typical questions and responses, where we practiced the common dialogues that occur between passengers and airline staff. This will help you respond appropriately and confidently when asked about your baggage, seat preferences, and travel documents. Finally, we delved into problem-solving scenarios, equipping you with the language tools needed to handle flight delays, seating problems, or baggage policy issues with grace and ease. Don't forget, the key to mastering these skills is consistent practice and application. Use these newfound tools, practice regularly, and soon, navigating English-speaking airports will be a breeze. Remember, practice makes perfect. Safe travels, and we wish you smooth sailing on your English-speaking journey.
Let's learn new words and practice English at level C1. Check-in counter. Check-in counter, the desk where passengers confirm their flight and drop off luggage. Example, I approached the check-in counter to confirm my reservation and get my boarding pass. Boarding pass. Boarding pass, a document or digital pass that allows entry onto a flight. Example, the boarding pass includes my gate number and boarding time. Itinerary. Itinerary, a detailed plan or schedule of travel activities and destinations. Example, my itinerary lists all flights, layovers, and times. Baggage allowance. Baggage allowance, the maximum amount of luggage a passenger can carry without extra charges. Example, make sure you check your baggage allowance before packing. Carry-on. Carry-on, small luggage that a passenger can bring into the aircraft cabin. Example, only my essentials go into my carry-on bag. Practice phrases. I'd like to check in for my flight to New York, please. Could you confirm my baggage allowance for this flight? May I request a window seat, if available? Where can I find my departure gate? Is there a delay expected for this flight? Role-play scenario, imagine you are checking in at a busy airport counter. Greet the staff, provide your booking reference, confirm your seat preferences, and ask if there are any delays or special instructions for boarding. Practicing this conversation will build confidence in real-life airport situations.